What's going on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights, and today we're going to talk about the stimulus check. I've had a couple people ask about the stimulus check because, as you guys remember, back around January, February, March, there was a conversation going around about the Doge $5,000 dividend, and then it just kind of disappeared. So people are saying, hey, I was just curious, are we still supposed to get that? Because some people were actually expecting that. I mean, the president and Musk were like pretty serious. And then all of a sudden, once Musk and Trump had a falling out, no more conversation about the dividend payment. You know, it was supposed to be up to $5,000. Then it got lowered down to like $2,000. So we're going to talk about that. And just so you know, there's a thing inside of the government called stimulus. And stimulus, when they pass out money like that, what they're trying to do is stimulate the economy. So some of the stimulus is called quantitative easing or QE. So when they're doing QE, they're basically going to turn on the money printer. They're going to print more money into circulation. And when they do that, that's typically when they find ways to funnel money out, whether it be giving money in the case of 2020, 2021, when they did the stimulus, they passed out money to small businesses. They also gave like little small stimulus checks to the average person. Some people even had to pay those back. It was just a total nightmare mess for some people. And then some people made out quite nicely. But that was QE. That was a stimulus. All right. So where do we stand right now? As of right now, there is no confirmed stimulus check. Okay. That's what you need to know. But the legislation that was put forth, national stimulus check 2025, it doesn't have any official word. It's just where it was when Trump and Musk were talking about it. It's on the back burner. So the rumors of the amounts between 1,600, 2,000, and then even the Trump-backed $5,000 Doge dividend remain unlegislated proposals with the IRS or congressional backing. So a lot of people are kind of like, well, why'd they even tell us about it if they didn't plan on following through? It's kind of like, you know, when your parents tell you something and they're like, hey, let's go to Disneyland. You're like, really? And they're like, yeah, let's go to Disneyland. And then all of a sudden, like, they never follow up with it and then they don't take you there. That was kind of what some people were expecting. Not me. I'm just going with the flow and seeing what happens. I never count on any of that from them because it's all a lot of it until the money hits your account, don't bank on it. That's the new rule moving forward. Okay. So the final deadline claim for the old stimulus that actually ended April 15th, 2025. That was from the recovery credit. For those of you who are watching this video because of that, that's already done. You can't even access that anymore. So the federal checks we're supposed to be rolling out. That's basically done. Now, in summary, if you're hoping for financial relief, explore state level programs, especially your income tax refund. There was even some tax credits. That's what's supposed to be in the big, beautiful bill, although it's nothing that's really going to be beneficial for too many people. Now, let's talk about this interesting concept quantitative easing versus quantitative tightening. So, QE is when the Federal Reserve is unwinding its balance sheets and they're processing new money into the economy. So quantitative easing, that's QE, that's money printing. That's when the stimulus. So if you hear the conversation going towards QE, money printing, stimulus, that's when there may be another conversation about that. But as of right now, there is no QE in sight. In fact, what the Fed is actually doing is quantitative tightening. So right now, we're actually seeing tightening because the inflation is still above 2.3%. So they're trying to bring down the actual inflation rate. And if they started printing more money and inflating, then it's going to actually lead to more inflation. And people are actually out there saying, we don't need any more inflation. So you have to realize no matter what ends up happening, whether you get a stimulus check or you don't get a stimulus check, it's a lose lose for you either way. You're not going to feel, if they stimulate the economy, you end up losing the value of that money anyway because it gets taken by inflation. If they don't stimulate it, you don't get anything, but you get lower inflation. So, I mean, which one do you want? You want higher inflation with the $5,000 payment or the $2,000 stimulus, which ends up getting like a hidden tax anyway with inflation, or you don't want anything. That's why most people say don't even give it to me because it ends up creating so much hassle. So, a sharp slowdown, deflation signs, or financial stress could pivot the Fed. So, if you start hearing signs like, hey, the economy is faltering, we need to pick up the economy, that's when they step in, and that's when they might do QE. For those of you who are really trying to get a $5,000 payment and then don't care about the stimulus, or you don't care about the inflation, right? So FOMC, the next meeting is in July, September, and December, and they may clarify quantitative tightening and say that it's slowing. So they might start slowing the quantitative tightening. If you hear things like we're going to be lowering the interest rates, that means that they're going to be possibly restarting QE. So as far as stimulus, would I say it's going to happen under Trump? Probably, because he seems to be a fan of QE. But as of when they're going to do the QE, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen this year. So I would not be banking on a stimulus check. So no quantitative easing is planned for 2025. Okay. The Fed continues to reduce the balance sheet through adjusting it at a stable pace. Pausing QT could be a first sign of future easing, but not a QE restart. So even when so right now they're doing quantitative tightening, then they're going to get to a point where they're going to stop quantitative tightening. They're going to let the economy kind of simmer down. It's like turning off a vehicle. They're going to let it kind of simmer, and then they're going to possibly start considering QE after what they've seen. And that usually lasts 6 months to a year. So again, 2025, no QE, no stimulus. 2026, maybe towards the end, but I wouldn't bank on it. So you can even check it online. There's a lot of different information. You could check out what the ECB, which is the European Union, what they're up to. If you guys are out there, smash up the likes and get this video out there to a larger audience. I had to drink some water. My goodness. Oh, man. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gave the information you were looking for. We'll see you on the next one.